Hello, good evening, and welcome to our Committee of Adjustment meeting this February 24th. Call the meeting to order. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Bougie, second by Councillor McTonnell, that we open the meeting at 5:47 p.m. All those in favor? Carried. Confirmation of agenda. Are there any changes?
No, Chair.
Any amendments as noted? No. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Jaworski, second by Deputy Mayor Lang, that we accept the agenda as presented. All those in favor? Carried. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Approval of previous minutes. Are there any errors or omissions? Okay, mover and seconder. Moved by Councillor McTonnell, second by Deputy Mayor Lang. All those in favor of the minutes as presented? Carried. Getting into new business and reports. A01 2025, Jaswell and Singh, Bazaar. No applicants here? Okay. Okay, thank you.
If you don't mind, Mr. Chair, when we require applicants to attend the meeting so they can answer questions from committee members, as we can't always answer all the details or advocate on their behalf. However, sometimes it's difficult to force people to attend, especially if they are from out of town. So it is entirely up to the committee if you wish to continue to move forward without having the applicants present or an agent present.
Okay, any interest in carrying on? I see two head shakes. We'll go three. Okay, perfect. If you could proceed with A01. Go ahead, Mr. Irwin.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just start with some wording under the Planning Act that this is a hearing under Section 45 of the Ontario Planning Act, and any person may attend this hearing and or make written or verbal representation either in support or in opposition to the proposed minor variance. If a person, the applicant, or public body does not make oral or written submissions at this hearing or before the minor variance is decided upon, their comments will not be considered by the Committee of Adjustment. Only the applicant, the minister, or specified persons or public bodies with an interest in the matter may appeal the decision of the minor variance of the Committee of Adjustment to the Ontario Land Tribunal within 20 days of the decision. Note that the committee members have reviewed the application along with any written submissions received in support or in opposition prior to this hearing, and in addition, we'll hear today oral submissions from any interested parties. Moving on to A01 2025, the subject property for this file is legally described as Part Lot 38 on Plan 142, being Part 1 of Reference Plan 14 R6623 in the geographic township of Charlottenburg, now in the township of South Glengarry, in the county of Glengarry, and is located at 6684/6686 Lawrence Street. It's approximately 0.11 acres in the area and is fully serviced with municipal water and wastewater services. And you can see it here just with County Road 2 down by the water, just inland in Green Valley there, or Green Valley, sorry, Glen Walter. The applicant has obtained provisional consent to sever the existing semi-detached dwelling units at 6684 and 6686 Lawrence Street. Condition of that consent is to apply for and obtain a minor variance to reduce the minimum lot area. They're requesting the following relief of reducing the minimum lot area from 270 square meters per dwelling unit to 180.49 square meters on the severed or northern portion of the consent, containing 6684 Lawrence Street, and 231.28 square meters on the retained southern portion of the consent, containing 6686 Lawrence Street, with a site plan here zoomed in to show the existing semi in here with the proposed lot lines, or proposed lot line down the middle. And some site photos were taken when the public notice sign was posted. It's a little bit snowy, but here's a Google Maps street view just showing what it looks like outside of snowier conditions. The property is designated a residential district within the urban settlement area of Glen Walter in the county official plan and is zoned residential 2 in the township zoning bylaw. It's the opinion of the planning staff that this application does conform to the intent of the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw. And here's just a zoning map showing the primarily residential zoning in yellow with some commercial in red and institutional in purple nearby. The application was circulated to all abutting property owners within 60 meters and applicable municipal staff, and we've not received any written or verbal comments to date. And the application is being recommended to be approved by our planner, Joanne Haley. And I will pass back to you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from around the table? Councillor Jaworski.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor McDonald. As a question for Ms. Haley or Mr. Irwin, can you refresh my memory on the reason why in this case they require the minor variance, and if this is maybe a topic for a discussion in another meeting on if this is something that would be something we could look at to make easier these kinds of situations, which I understand are helpful when it comes to increased housing stock.
If you don't mind, Mr. Chair, I'd like to answer that question and maybe give some context to the application. I don't recall the exact year this structure was constructed, but I know it was built prior to 2014. When it was built by the original developer, it was intended to be a 4-unit rental development. In recent years, the structure was severed into 2 with 2 units on each side. And now the new owner is wanting to sever it again to have independent ownership for all 4. When it was originally constructed, it met the minimum lot area requirements for a fourplex. It didn't meet the rear yard setback requirements. If you look at it, it's quite close to the rear yard. And so variances were dealt with at that time. So it was already basically an undersized lot in terms of how deep it was to accommodate the dwelling unit. So I understand what you're saying in terms of like moving forward, is 270 square meters per dwelling unit a sufficient size, or is it too large? That's something we can certainly look at. We have to be careful too when we've got corner lots. It end up needing a little bit of extra space because you've got a larger side yard exterior setback. But that's not an uncommon lot area as well. I think this just happens to be more of a unique development in terms of how it got started in the first place.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Members of the public? No? All right. Councillor McDonnell? Okay, so Councillor McDonnell has moved to approve it as presented. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Lang. All those in favor? Carried. I guess, there's no one here to hear it, but Mr. Irwin does that. There are some things that have to go through, 20-day notice, etc. All right, AO2 2025, Impalal Developments Incorporated, Wilson Architectural Design, Inc. Is there a member for that? Okay, please proceed, Mr. Irwin.
Thank you. So for AO2 2025, the subject property is legally described as Lot 8 of Plan 14M4 in the geographic town of Charlottenburg, now in the township of South Glengarry, in the county of Glengarry, located at 6383 and 6385 Monument Way. The property is approximately 0.38 acres in area. Here's a map showing the project relative to their South Lancaster for reference. The purpose of the minor variance is that the proponent is proposing to sever the semi-detached dwellings under construction on the subject property, creating 2 independent parcels, and the proposed lots addressed as 6383 Monument Way does not meet the minimum frontage requirements of 9 meters, and they're requesting a reduction in the required frontage from 9 meters to 8.74 meters. Here's a zoomed out site plan with a zoomed in site plan here showing the proposed lot lines through each semi, and in particular it's this stretch right here that's just shy of the required 9 meters. And here are site photos taken from when the public notice sign was posted. Show a few angles, and the property extends down into towards the water there. The property is designated a residential district and is within the urban settlement area of Lancaster in the county official plan, and is zoned residential 2 in floodplain holding in the township zoning bylaw. And in the opinion of planning staff, this application does conform to the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw. Showing here primarily residential zoning to the north and west, with primarily commercial to the east, a little bit of open space here, and then the river. The application was circulated to all abutting property owners within 60 meters and applicable municipal staff, and we've not received any written or verbal comments to date. And it was also circulated to the Conservation Authority, who also have confirmed they have no objections. The minor variance application is also being recommended to be approved by our planner, Joanne Haley. And again, I'll pass back to you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from around the table? Councillor Jaworski?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor McDonald. Ms. Haley, is this another unique situation where, I mean, I just noticed with the photos that the things are happening already?
Through you, Mr. Chair. No, I don't think this is a unique situation. I think this is just a really unfortunate circumstance where the building wasn't placed in the area that they thought it was to be placed. It is my understanding that a surveyor was involved, but things do happen. Mr. Irwin and myself did work with the applicant and the asking them if they could speak with the surveyor to ensure that, they drew it accordingly, and it's just unfortunate they couldn't meet the 9-meter minimum. They were just off slightly.
Deputy Mayor Lang?
Thank you. Maybe I've jumped the gun. If there's any members of the public who want to speak first, I was just going to move.
Is there any members of the public that wish to speak to this matter? Okay, so we have mover as Deputy Mayor Lang, seconded by Councillor McDonnell. All those in favor? Carried. All right, we'll move to, AO3. 2025, Petrie McDonald. I believe there are 2 members in the audience, or at least 1 for this one. So if you come up to the table, you operate it by pressing the gray button. The red light will come on whenever you're to speak. But first we'll go to Mr. Irwin.
Thank you, Chair. So the property for this file is legally described as part of Lots 7 and 8 on Concession 3, being Part 1 of Reference Plan 14R6692, the geographic township of Lancaster, now in the township of South Glengarry, in the county of Glengarry, located at 21895 Concession Road 3, and is approximately 5.49 acres in area. And here's the map of the subject property, showing it's a flag lot that has frontage down to the road here. A home industry focusing on excavation and backhoe services is proposed in the subject property, which requires a 300-meter setback from any dwelling located on another lot. And the following relief is being requested to reduce that setback from 300 meters to 110 meters, with a screenshot of our mapping here showing the closest dwelling being down here on the south end, and the closest area where the home industry would be permitted on the lot measured from there. Here are some site photos taken when the public notice sign was posted, and some from a recent listing. The home industry is proposed to be within the garage mostly. The proposed property is designated agricultural resource lands in the county official plan and zoned agricultural in the township zoning bylaw. And in the opinion of planning staff, this application does conform to the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw. And here it is showing entirely agricultural zoning. This application was circulated to all abutting property owners within 60 meters, and we've not received any written or verbal comments to date. And the minor variance is being recommended to be approved by our planner, Joanne Haley. And again, I'll pass back to you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there any further from the applicants? Anything they want to add further? You don't have to if you don't have. Okay, are there any questions or comments from around the table? Councillor Jaworski?
Risk of driving everyone crazy. The lot, although it says it's agricultural resource land, is it actually, I mean, I'm assuming because it's like a flag lot that it's, is severed. Could it even sustain agricultural activities? Wouldn't it have been a severance where you couldn't, that would have been one of the conditions? I'm just curious about that.
So the subject property wouldn't meet the minimum lot size for an agricultural use under today's zoning bylaw. It would essentially be a grandfathered in residential lot.
And you don't drive us crazy with questions. Keep them coming. Yeah, and you can ask many of them. Never stop. Councillor McDonnell?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'll move to approve as presented.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Bougie? All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Irwin, could you go through your caveats?
Thank you. So your minor variance has been approved. There will be a 20-day appeal period from the date of this decision today. If no appeals are received, then the minor variance will be finalized and everything will be approved and good to go. And if you do apply for any building permits at that point, we can review them at that stage.
All right, great. Thank you for your time. So our next meeting is tentatively set for March 10th, 2025. Otherwise, move to adjourn. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor McDonnell, seconded by Councillor Bougie, that we adjourn to the call of the chair at 6:01 p.m. All those in favor? Carried.